What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy, Varney. Today again in the studio with my boys, Dan, Mike, and Adrian. Today is another special episode of Pod. Four of us are here again because it was Nationals weekend, and what a Nationals weekend it was. For the good, for the bad, and for the heartbreaks. We're not going to be talking about anything else but Nationals today because there's just so much to talk about, so much to review, and so much to get at. But let me ask the boys, what's up? How's it going? How was your weekends?
You already know how mine is, so I don't know why you're asking me.
I guess you're not the boy then.
Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend. Trying to think. But did anything special? Not really though.
Yeah, same old. You
got stuck in your house because of the flooded bridge?
Oh yeah, well none of you guys have even been to my new house yet, but basically I have a great...
Because we never been invited, obviously.
It's not true. I've invited you guys multiple times. That's like... Come through to my house, bro. We live 20 minutes away from each other, bro. Come through. Anyways, bro, to get into my... I live off like a main road. Like, you guys are from, live in Pennsylvania, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know those great bridges that are super sketchy and can only fit like one car at a time?
Yeah.
Like those super sketchy. That's what you have to drive over to get into like where my apartment is. And right under it is a river that overflowed on top of the Great Bridge.
So our apartment? Who's our? I thought it was just yours.
My apartment, whatever. I don't know why I said our. I meant our apartments, maybe I meant to say like the apartment buildings here. But it overflowed on top of the Great Bridge, which is crazy. Because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to locals today. Like I hit up the chat. I was like, we out. I want to go leave my house, bro. Nope.
That's an actual travesty, to be honest.
It's
crazy.
It's like the gods don't want Mike to play in-person Digimon or something.
Divine intervention right there, bro. That was some crazy shit. So yeah, I just ended up staying home instead. Fucking played The Sim because what else was I gonna do?
Yeah, I know y'all have been enjoying The Sim. Meanwhile, our two boys were enjoying The Sim. Two of our boys were at Nats experiencing a lot of shit. So I guess I'll get us started. So Dan and I... go ahead.
I know that the Bandai event was really cool and everything, but from reading online all the fucking issues, I cannot wait to hear about this from you two. Because like you guys were sending me us pics of the Bandai event and I was like, damn, that's fucking really cool. Like that looks like a lot of fun. And then the next day I was like, that's not fun anymore.
Hey man, we're gonna talk all about it. You understand?
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get into it. I'm gonna shut up. I'm muting my mic honestly, so I don't interrupt. So go off, Kings.
All right. Well, we start on Thursday. So we took
Thursday This is how I knew Nats was gonna be terrible because that Thursday was the most shittiest day we had, bro. Yo, the first day was just such a thrill. I swear to God, wasting money on Ubers and shit.
Please. Oh no, I can't believe you reminded me of that. Now I gotta talk about it.
Oh my God.
All right, so Thursday. So first of all, before I even get into it, there's a vlog, and I don't know how the fuck I'm editing it. All I know is Dan and I sat down to like just talk like real quick, like quick interview type shit. Next thing you know, it's like 45 minutes and we're still recording. And I'm like, how the fuck am I making this into a vlog? So we've got, I shit you not, 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of footage. I don't know how I'm breaking it up to put into a vlog, but it will be. But a lot of what you hear in the vlog, we're going to recap here, and it'll kind of be explained a lot more in depth here as well. So watch both, and you'll get like both sides of the story. Now, that being said,
you'll get the raw emotion versus the let's talk about it type emotion, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So Thursday, we leave. Our flight left at 6 in the morning to get down to LA. So we get down to LA like
9:30.
12? No, yeah, 9:30. We get the ride over to our hotel. We get we weren't able to get checked in, but we were able to drop our bags, which was cool. So Dan and I went out to eat. Then we
mind you, our hotel is in a fucking sketchy ass part of LA, kind of downtown, where like
it wasn't.
We had homeless people right next door. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't.
For those of
I watched some crackheads walking across the street. For
those of you who live in LA, we were at the Haas building. It wasn't an overly sketchy part.
The Haas just sounds like a place I wouldn't want to sleep in, bro. What the fuck?
Bro,
bro. No shot y'all slept in a hotel called the Haas. What the fuck kind of...
Hold on. Wait. Yo, this is how crazy. You know, hotels usually you got like a nice look like entrance where you have like what do you call it, the reception area, and like, you know, a little like I guess like an area to relax, chairs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Bro,
like
the entrance
people come, they do their work or whatever. Yeah, it
looks like half the entrance was like used for something else, and then half the entrance is just a straight walkway where the reception desk is, and right next to it is the elevators, and that's it. There is no like chairs, nothing to sit on.
So the idea of this hotel, like I can speak about it because that's kind of what I do for my part-time job in a way. The idea of this hotel is not like a full-blown like, you know, whatever other hotel you go to, Marriott or Wyndham or something else. It's meant to be a little bit more of a boutique hotel. And that like they've taken a space that was used probably for something else, whether it's for apartments or something. And I mean, you saw it in the room, Dan. You saw like the room was like half unfinished, but they take it and they renovate it in a way, and then they slap their brand on it. Because Mike, it's the Haas by Wyndham collection.
Okay. Wyndham,
so it's owned by Wyndham. But
Wyndham.
It's, you know, Wyndham, Wyndham, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be like, you know, it's a boutique hotel in a way. But the area was like, it was.
Bro, I did not want to go.
We came home the one night. We came home the one night, or to the hotel, I should say. There were a couple ladies just outside.
I'm pretty sure we had like prostitutes chilling right outside the door.
I swear on my life, that's what they were. They're like, and I didn't know if they were talking to me or Dan. All I heard was one say, those are some nice shoelaces. I walked straight to the door.
What the fuck does that even mean, bro?
I walked straight to the door. I rang the doorbell.
Bro,
what the? They complimented the shoelaces?
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Yo, there was this one chick who was like kind of tall, and like she was
dress
really dark.
Was provocative AF.
And then there's another chick in like this BDSM like mask thing, and then like a whole like
so hard
weird costume. I was like, bro,
I was like tunnel vision. I see the door. Let's get inside the hotel.
But like besides that, yo,
I know y'all just saying that because you don't want your wives to listen to this, but you can blink twice if you paid for one.
No, I did not.
Yeah, y'all paid for one. All right.
No, absolutely not. You know what's the crazy? And then the funniest part, it was like, yo, in the daytime you didn't see them or anything, but like
exactly.
At nighttime, no, it wasn't that. But like the moment it went dark, all you saw was pitch ass tents with the homeless people all on the fucking sidewalks. It was so crazy.
How close are you guys to Skid Row? Were you guys close to Skid Row?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even know, Caps.
Adrian, bro, it sounds like they were in Skid Row.
We was in downtown.
Yeah, it sounds like you were in Skid Row.
Yeah.
We was in downtown LA.
That's like central. Was it like Central City? Like
we were
like
10 minutes away from the convention center. By
that
drive,
10 minutes. That 10 minutes makes them matters, bro. Because I remember when I stayed last year. I remember when I stayed last year there because I was on the I think it's like the same street, like 10 blocks down.
The convention center, right?
The convention center.
Yeah.
Bro, that street was nothing like what we was at. I kid you not. Like, I didn't have no problem going outside at nighttime. I wasn't scared I was going to get robbed by a homeless person. So I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how crazy it is. Yo, we had, next to the building was like Carl's Jr. And it was his whole, I don't know, he probably was a bum. He was like, every time we walk by, you have $1?
You have $1?
You have $1? I was like, bro.
I was like, motherfucker, if you don't... I just
funny.
Should have gave him some
tunnel
cards so you can
visioned.
sell it.
Yeah, bro. Skid Row is like Kensington and Philly. You know what I mean? Like that's like
nah,
LA's
hell no.
equivalent.
No.
Nah, I'd know if we were near a fucking Kensington. There ain't no way.
Sounds kind of close to it, bro.
Nah, Kensington is.
Nah, because you
But-
know you go to like Fishtown and it's kind of cool, and then you take the wrong street and you're getting mugged.
That's a fact.
You're not wrong. But all right, I digress. That's the hotel. You know, for those of you who like live in LA or you know Cali, you know LA, like you'll know where we were, so you can tell us if that was a fuck place or if that was, you know, just whatever. But so yeah, we get to the hotel, we go, we eat, we come back to pick up our cards because we had heard that on Thursday, Psycho Turtles Collectibles was going to be hosting a tournament at 7:30. They opened up at 12 p.m. according to Google Maps.
Google.
I was like, all right, yeah, Google, whatever. Google Maps, some shit. I was like, yo, Dan, you want to go? He's like, yeah, I bet. We paid for the Uber to get out there. Now, first of all,
Bro.
we arrive at this one place and she's like, do you see it? And I'm like, no.
Yo, facts.
Where the hell did it take you? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, it shows that it's like 3 minutes down the strip from here. So she's like, all right. So very nice. I tipped her kindly. She drove us down a little bit further to our actual spot, not where Uber told her to drop us off at. So we get dropped off and we're like, all right, bet. We're walking up to the door. It's like 12:30. We're like, all right, let's get this shit started. LA, baby. Due to some circumstances, we are closed until 6 p.m. as we are restocking.
Wow.
And some other
Due to
shit.
restocking. It was due to restocking. They
Yeah.
were closed until 6 p.m.
And I looked at it, and then I looked at Dan, and I looked back at it, and I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, there ain't no fucking way,
Yeah,
bro.
we get out, and then like I turned around, I was like, well, there goes our Uber. We could just ask her to come back for us.
So what did you guys do?
So we stood there for about a half hour trying to figure out what the fuck to do, because
Yeah.
where that place was, we were like, we
It
had
was way
already
out of our way.
we had already paid maybe like $20-$30 to get out there. So we were like, what can we do around here that we can walk to so we don't have to pay $20-$30 back? And there was nothing, literally nothing to do, nowhere to go because of where it was situated. It was like kind of like a highway, not really a highway, but like a pseudo highway, whatever. So it's not even like you could really cross it without being completely unsafe. But there was nowhere to walk to is the worst part. If you wanted to go to the mall, that was like a 5-10 minute drive. That was like a 40-50 minute walk. And I was like, there's just no way. So we ended up, it was the decision between to go back to the hotel, which it was still too early for because our check-in wasn't until 4, or to go walk around like the mall or something. I was like, I don't want to go walk around the mall because I bought my card bag because I had a separate backpack and card bag. I don't want to walk around with that shit. So like, let's find another shop to go to. We found another shop to go to. So shout out to Guild Heaven, something like that. Super awesome shop. We went there. It cost us like another $20. And then from there, another $40 to get back home.
That smelled like cat piss
Uber
the
was
whole time.
eating well that day.
Uber ate well that day
What?
because that was like almost $100 in shit trip
That's
fees.
terrible.
Bro, what had me tell you was how badly that shop smelled like cat piss. I was like, this is so terrible.
I mean, Dan was like,
I thought I was gonna die for a sec.
I didn't smell shit. Maybe it's because I don't know. I don't know. I didn't smell anything. So
It smelled like straight up cat, everything. I was like, we're gonna die here.
It smelled normal to me. But we had our play testing there. We play tested for basically the entire.
We stayed there for a couple hours. Yeah.
Ironed out our deck list because submissions were due that night. So we play tested a lot. That was when I was in the middle of the should I play SecCon or
It's
Digimon
conundrum.
debate. And I wouldn't have been the wrong decision to play SecCon if the weekend showed anything. But that's besides the point. I was in the middle of that debate and I wasn't sure. I ended up not playing SecCon more because I forgot. I thought I had packed them and I still can't find them, so I don't know where they are. But there are cards that I pulled out for the deck that I didn't have with me that were crucial cards. Like the Mimis, the Karis. Those are like two of the biggest ones. So I just didn't play Seccon for that reason. Otherwise, I was erring towards playing it. But then I thought about the Devas matchup, and I thought we might see a lot of Fanglong, and I felt better about Anubis into Fanglong than Seccon into Fanglong. So, spoiler, there were no Fanglong tops and nothing in the top 64, so I definitely could have gotten away with playing Seccon, especially with the matchups that I played, and I probably could have kicked every one of their asses, but that's besides the point. So I decided on playing Anubis that day. That was just Thursday. Okay, that was just Thursday. That's important to note. Let's see, that night, what did we do that night, Dan? What did we do when we went back? I guess we just got checked in. We ate and then we slept.
That was the night that we went out to dinner with Leppy. His mom.
Oh, right, yes. So we did meet up with Leppy that night. So we met a lot of people. All right, we met a lot of people. But first person we met up with was Leppy. We are somehow pretty fucking famous, and I don't.
Bro,
honestly, to this day, I still don't know how.
like we'll probably talk more about it, but you know how many times people would just walk into us like, yo, DigiGuard United, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who are you? Every time they asked, I was like, yo, who are they were like, yo, I listen to your pod, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you in the Discord? They were like, yeah. And I'm like, Discord name? Because I don't know your real name. And they'll say like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember your name now.
That was That's Dan. Crazy. Meanwhile, me, I was just like, oh, hey, yeah, it's nice to meet you. Woo, we're famous. Yeah. People recognize us. Brand recognition, boys.
There you go.
Right.
There you
go. But yeah, so we went out to dinner with Leppy and his mom that night.
Yo, shout out to Leppy mom, because she was holding it down for us.
I was just about to say, yeah.
For Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, she was out here getting us food and stuff. I was like, I appreciate it.
She was also bagging my boy Leppy some cards.
Yeah.
And bro, they try swindling her out of this fucking Luffy promo. Bro, let me talk about this fucking Luffy promo real quick. You have motherfuckers walking around saying, yo, I'll trade you this Luffy promo for your Digimon
players, yeah.
And we're looking at it and I'm like, something doesn't add up here. Like all the Digimon players were like, something doesn't add up here. Why do y'all want this card so much? It turns out that card was going for well over $100 at the fucking event. It's selling on eBay right now for like $160.
Is it serialized?
No.
No, it's
literally an unfoiled champion stamp 10-drop Luffy that's been printed twice already. It makes no sense. But that is One Piece for you.
It's not played in anything either.
It's not even played exactly. Yeah, why play that? That's One Piece for you.
But it's because it's weird. It's his Gear 5th form. But it's also weird because the old promo of that was worth like a lot of money. And then the new...
It was like the champion one, wasn't it?
No. It was just a promo, but One Piece gives promos away weird. They only give them out for like if you win or whatever, right? They don't give promos out the way that Digimon gives promos out, I don't think. Mm-hmm. But that was really expensive. That was like... People were selling that thing for like, that was expensive shit. But now that card's like $9 because that new promo that you guys are now talking about just came out. So that card's like $9. One Piece players are fucking stupid, by the way, but whatever.
They are.
They be paying way too much. That's crazy.
If you're a Digimon player, make sure you capitalize and sell your Luffy promo at a good price right now. Don't wait because you don't know when it'll go down. You got it
that was part of that was for your registration entry stuff.
But you could get extras. There was a way to get extras somehow. I don't remember how. Part of the scavenger hunt stuff, which we'll get to because all that shit was scuffed. But
yeah, that Luffy promo. It's a first anniversary tournament Luffy promo. It is $600. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it is because I think that's the one that I remember seeing. That I was like, holy shit.
I'm gonna send it to you in chat. You can confirm. But yeah, if you guys have that card, sell it.
Sell it right now. $100 minimum, no less, because that's what it's going for.
I sent it to you on Facebook.
January 30th.
So ugly.
It's not even like, but okay, besides the point. So yeah, shout out to Leppy's mom. She's a G. Leppy, you were fantastic. We basically did that. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm just laughing because I don't want to talk about One Piece too much, but like I hate like the cost of the game, like because it's absurd. But it like made me laugh because during the Bandai events, they told everyone that they were going to be reprinting boosters. And the One Piece card community collectively lost its fucking mind because, like, I'd say like 70% of the people that buy One Piece cards don't play the game. They just buy them to resell them and scalp them because they're bad people. And,
I would say like there's 20% collectors, 50% scalpers,
bro. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, like I'd say it's like that. Yeah, there's like 20% collectors, 50% scalpers. Dude, the scalpers lost their fucking minds this week
because they're posing as the collectors. Like, oh my goodness, this is going to drive down the price of everything, and I hope Bandai doesn't do this because it's going to diminish the price of set 1 of Romance Dawn, and collectors aren't going to have any value. Motherfucker, you're not the one collecting.
It's crazy, bro.
You're just holding. People literally hold on. Like, I see Romance Dawn cases list for 13 grand all the time. And I'm like, first of all, who the fuck? Because I could never. But I get it. I get the collector's game. It's not. I don't even think collectors can even get the product they want to get. That's like majority scalpers. But yeah, like Mike said, not a One Piece podcast. We'll stop talking about One Piece. So Thursday we go to sleep. We wake up Friday morning. I believe they opened at 12. The doors. So we got up to get there we wanted to get there around like 11:30. Golly, we get there and the line was like long. Now, by the time we had gotten there, they had already separated the lines. But apparently before, there was just one megalo line of everybody who was participating in Bandai's Card Game Fest. And if you got there and they, like before they split you up, apparently like you lost your spot in line just because they shifted into the different game lines. So like if you were like in the front of the line for Digimon, like I guess if you weren't, depending on how they shifted you, you might have gotten bumped back a few spots or half the line or some shit like that. Because I saw a lot of people complaining about that. By the time we had gotten there, the lines were already separated. The One Piece line, they kept having those motherfuckers back up. You swear it was the cha-cha slide up in this bitch. They kept fucking shuffling back, bro.
Yeah, sure.
We only had to move back
maybe a couple times,
twice, 3 times in the span of like 10 minutes. And we were good, but there was that many people there for One Piece. Now getting inside when I would say we were maybe like the midpoint of the line.
For sure.
So when we got in, did all of our registration and walked out, the One Piece line was still long and the Digimon line was all inside the convention center, to put it in perspective how many people were there. Dragon Ball, they didn't have like a long line, but they also like it was 2 separate events. Dragon Ball Battle Hour was one hall and Card Game Fest was another hall, and you needed 2 separate passes for those 2 separate events. So I don't know anything about like the logistics of Battle Hour, how it was handled, registration and all that, but I know I did see a bunch of them standing in line. So, and then there was Battle Spirits. There was no line. There was no line.
There was like 5 people. There was 5 people for the world.
They probably went through that line in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they had it was like a total of 160 for their worlds.
Yes.
Wow.
Didn't even hit like a regional cap number. Holy fuck.
Mind you, it was open invite if I'm remembering correctly, because they didn't just open it for Digimon. It was open for Digimon, One Piece, and Battle Spirits. So if you were a Battle Spirits player, and obviously if you're a BSS competitive player, you have money to spend on flying out to compete, because they don't really have, I don't think they have any online events. Worlds was open. So everybody who came, it was just 160 people who came to play Battle Spirits Worlds.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, Battle Spirits.
A dying card game already.
It's dead. DOA.
Not as dead as MetaZoo.
MetaZoo.
Official dead.
Don't even get me started.
That's all.
Don't even get me started on MetaZoo, bro. What a fucking wow.
What a ride.
What a scam, bro. What an actual scam. I don't know if you guys know the backstory of all that.
No, I have no idea.
Give us it.
Oh my god, bro! So basically, they're just bad people. Like, if you guys are into the game, whatever. But it was literally like, so they were like got funding by people, and
Kickstarter,
they were like,
right?
They were like, yeah, we'll print like first edition cards for you guys or whatever. That was fucked. That was fumbled. Then they stopped giving people their prizing the last few months. I'm assuming they stopped giving people prizing because they were going bankrupt or whatever the fuck just happened. But yeah, that whole, like, look into it, but it is like such a shit show of a card game. That whole thing was. They blamed,
I could never understand that one.
But it was like such a cash grab because it popped up during COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it was most definitely a COVID game. Yeah.
Yeah, it popped up during COVID, got people hype, and then immediately they like grabbed the bag and just fucked it. It was bad. I feel bad. I just feel bad for people that invest money into shit like that. Cause
that's the American dream, bro. Nothing wrong with that. They grabbed their bag and ran. That's hilarious.
Dude, it was crazy. Yeah. And
man, that's hilarious.
It's even funnier because like but like within the last like 6 to 9, I would say the last like 6 months, I've been seeing MetaZoo in big box retailer stores. So I was like, oh, wow, they're doing decent enough to actually be in big box stores. That's surprising.
Psych.
Psych, yeah, that's all I can say. Right? Psych.
They gotcha.
But
that's hilarious.
MetaZoo, dead game. Battle Spirits, we'll talk about that.
We have to?
Not really. But I did see the presentation, so I do feel obligated as a Digimon podcast to let the Digimon peeps know about Bandai's plans for the game that is competing with us.
I was about to say, did we actually watch it? And then now I'm starting to remember it.
Yes, I was complaining about it.
Yeah.
So Thursday, yeah. So we finished registration. We finished registration on Friday.
What sucked about Friday, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
They mentioned about like side events, right? So you would think they would have them on Friday because you don't want side events happening during the main show of, the Nationals, right? No, there was no side events on Friday, and the worst part, the weirdest thing to me, it was like they were just like get in, get out. They didn't want y'all to. They didn't want us to be in there. Really, they want you to get your things and just get the F out because I don't know. They just wanted us out ASAP. It wasn't like they wanted us to like stay, hang out for a bit, see the fest. I'm not even sure. Maybe they weren't ready to have people in there fully yet. I don't know what it is, but it was very weird. So yeah, there was no side events on Friday. Usually, like when they have the events, like the regionals in person or whatever, they'll have them like on the Friday, and then for the side events, and then Saturday, Swiss, and then Sunday is a top cut. That's what they did for like 2 years ago when they did the Philly regional, when they did Otakon, when they did whatever the other one was that year.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Gen Con, all those. They always do it like that. It has been so far. So the fact that like your nationals, you didn't do that either, is very weird to me.
Well, they did,
and the whole side events thing was so terrible.
Yeah, they did it last year too, because when we were at Nats last year, they had open. Well, they didn't have open registration. It was invites last year, but the registration was Friday. It was kind of a similar deal. I guess it wasn't a card fest though. It was only Digimon, so that's
it was only for Digimon.
Probably one thing, but they did have side events last year, and I remember after I finished signing up, I went and I did the little museum that they had, and then I went to go check out the side events, but they were already full. So they had side events last year on Friday. And then they had side events during the main event, but they started it after like round 6 or something like that. For like people who dropped.
It made sense.
Right. And then they had side events again on Sunday. So they probably just couldn't handle all of everything going on at once. So they just for like organization purposes, they probably wanted to get in and out.
I'm going to get there because there's a lot that I learned after the fact, which you guys, when you watch whatever comes out of the vlog, there is a lot that I learned after the fact that was wrong about like what Dan and I had said. that has me questioning like why the fuck was it ran in this way, but we'll get there. Let me just recap the rest of the weekend, and then we'll talk about logistics and organization and all that. So yeah, like Dan said, Friday, no side events. Friday, we basically did more playtesting with not only Leppy, but shout out to Lance and the boys from Connecticut, because a lot of their crew was up there. So we did a lot of playtesting between all of us there. And then that night is where I solidified that I wouldn't play Black or Gray, because Friday was the day that I had the conundrum of, damn, if I'm going to see a lot of Red Hybrid, I want to play Black or Gray because I don't feel like playing against Red Hybrid. And I went back and forth until I played, and I was like, you know what? I'll stick with Anubis. So that was where I actually solidified my decision, because I submitted my initial deck list on Thursday and the revision on Friday night. We wake up Saturday morning. Now's the fun time. Now's the fun part. Remember you were asking in chat, Mike, you were like, what happened? Like, tell me about the event. And I was like, I'll tell you later. This is the part. Saturday, we wake up. The tournament started at 9:30.
Wow, early. That's so early.
You wanted to
it's
be
11
there
rounds, so
minimum by 8:30.
Yeah.
Doors opened 7:30.
Bro, my brain would not even be able to fucking function.
Yeah, so we went to bed early. Like, we went to bed at 10 and we got up for 6:30, 7.
Yeah.
We got there, we got inside, whatever. We're all chilling there waiting for the announcement for the tournament to start. And then I hear over the loudspeaker, if you have a 2-round buy and you are currently checked in, please come up to the counter and uncheck yourself in.
Oh, no.
And I looked at my shit and it said I was checked in, which makes sense because I fucking registered and checked in, right? So I go to get in the line to get checked out.
There's some stuff he's missing out right now. Hold on, rewind real quick.
Go ahead.
So when we get there, right, it's easy sailing to get in, no problem. We see everything, it's super nice, it's cool, blah blah. So we go to
yeah, you're right. My bad.
We go to the Union Arena, not Union Arena. It was all the demo deck. It was a demo deck booth basically. That was like, hey,
for all
we
the
have
games.
Demo decks for Digimon, Union Arena, One Piece, and I think BSS, right?
Correct.
So everybody's there for Union Arena, basically. So we get there to the line, and our boy Lance, he just snuck in without realizing. Nobody knew there was a line when we walked in.
So here's what happened, right?
He ended up walking up. The guy was like,
yeah, next. Exactly.
Yeah. So he just walked into it and signed up for it, whatever, right?
And we were standing behind him, and then the guy comes up and he's like, hey guys, the line is over there.
Facts.
We looked, and bro, this line
so we're like, so this is like close to maybe 7:40-ish, something like that. So all right, we got a line. Line is dumb long for no reason. And so basically what they're doing is they sign up people to at different times, anywhere between 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. basically, or I think it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I should say. I think that was the cutoff. 8 to close. Yeah. So we're lining up. We're like 3 people behind to sign up for Union, because we were like, all right, let's check out the Union Arena, right? And then they stopped the line for about 40 minutes or something like that, maybe 30 minutes. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Once I'm in the line, I feel like a line takes forever. It could be 5 minutes. I could be like, yo, this is an hour-long line. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. That's how I am sometimes. So we were waiting there for a hot minute for apparently no fucking reason. That was the worst part.
So what they were trying to do is they were trying to get people signed up for the 8 o'clock events for the
all
other games.
Of them.
Now,
no one's there for that.
But so it makes sense. Like, I get it. Like, you're trying to just make sure that you get the events fired, because it was like, it's like 7:45. So you're just trying to make sure that everybody who wants to come in and play those games. They had what, Dan, 4 people at the counter though?
Yeah.
They could have dedicated like one person to that and do the rest for the Union Arena time slots, right?
That's a fact.
They didn't. They stopped the whole fucking... The guy was like, is there anybody here to play Battle Spirits, One Piece, or Digimon?
Literally, no one was saying because no one cared.
No, we all want to play the fucking new game.
if you're a player there, I guarantee you played all three of those at least once. You know what I'm saying? Outside of like me with the One Piece, right? But like most of those people there are there as players and they played the game some type of way and they want to play the new shit that's coming out and want to see if it's worth getting into. No one gives a fuck about those other games at the moment. Like, why would you not? Why? So like, we're waiting there forever. We finally get up. They're like, hey, what time do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. What's your times? And they're like, anywhere between 8 and...
No, earliest they had was like 12 or 1. And that was the problem because the tournament started at 9 and there were no time slots for the 2-round buys, meaning that the only time slots were available was the times during the fucking main tournament.
Yeah, which is dumb. Like, why would anyone leave the main tournament if you're doing well or whatever? Like, I can understand if you scrubbed out and you just dropped, so that's fine. But like, most people were there to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do it during that time frame? So we signed up for like 3:20 or something. Like, I don't know. I wasn't sure what time to put it in. I was like 3:20. Sure, that works. I remember them saying there was gonna be a break at like 3, so I was like, oh, maybe we'd be able to do it at that time. No, we didn't. So now we get to the tournament, right? It's about 9:30.
It's 9. It's 9. It's 9. Because we were standing in line until like 8:20 because that's why we were getting agitated. Because we're like, bro, like it's about to be time. We want to go check out the other stuff before the tournament starts.
Yes.
So it's like 8:45 that we finally get to sit over by the area. And that's when I hear the announcement for the 2-round buy shit.
So everyone who had a buy had to go over there and wait online to get checked out. And then at like 9:15, they were like, pairings are up basically for people who have who don't have the buys. So I go to my table, boom, 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 and then that's when the tournament starts. So here's the crappy part for the 2-round buys. They don't do so now all these people who had the 2-round buys had to check out. They had to get checked back in.
So let me explain it here real quick. So we had to go get checked out in this line that didn't move for about, I want to say, a half hour of standing in line to get checked out. Because the round started while we were getting checked out. And I'm like, how the fuck is it getting started if we're still standing in line to get checked out? It turns out that because of that fucking mishap, some people had also gotten a buy because they got paired up against people with a 2-round buy.
Yep.
So they got a free win.
But then they also got counted as a loss as well, I believe.
Is that what it was?
Like all after because when you think about when you go to the thing, when you go into the app, you press 2-0 win. You have to go 2-0 win for it. So like you don't have the person's 2-0 win, so then they get the loss.
Correct.
So that means like point system wise, like everything gets after with it.
And so when we had to go, now they went through the 2 fucking rounds.
Yep.
It's coming up to the beginning, to the end of the second round. They're like, go ahead.
There's like, it's not even like mid second round because I had a bye basically because my opponent didn't show up. So it was like 30 minutes into second round and they were like, everybody who has a 2-round bye line up. Why would you not tell people to line up for this to get checked back in the beginning of the second round? So this wouldn't cause an issue when round 3 starts. Round 3 did not start until I think 11.
Round 3 was delayed for a solid
12. It was 12
hour and a half.
We didn't start playing until like 12.
The round finished and I was like, how the fuck are they gonna get this shit done in time for round 3? And they were like, we're gonna wait until all the 2-round buys are put in and such. Because here's what they had to do, guys. They had to put us back into the system for the beginning of the 3rd round with the 6 points. So the good thing, I will say, the good thing is they had Best Coast pairings there. And this is where, Dan and I, our vlog that we did, a little bit of misinformation. I thought PlayTCG was the TO for the entire tournament, including the running of the events. I was unaware that PPG was the TO for Digimon.
Yeah.
So I will say a shout out to PPG for having the foresight to get some fucking guys from BCP in there so that they could have them on site in case anything went wrong. Now, with that being said, why were we told the app doesn't work properly? Use the website. What?
That was the most dumbest thing because every
What?
time I would go in it, the web browser worked way less than the actual app did.
The web browser took like forever to load. I'm sitting there, I'm like, load, you gonna load? No,
Man.
I guess I'll just check on the app.
Could you?
And the app worked fine.
What's even crazy, bro, is which like which app were you guys using? It was the
Best Coast
BCP.
Pairings.
Best Coast Pairings
Yeah.
app. Yeah, first of all, the app fucking sucks.
It does suck,
what-
but
but
the
what-
website sucks more.
But like, what is it's crazy to me. Sidebar: the official Digimon app we had, garbage. Like the Bandai app in general, the official Bandai app, trash,
We
absolute
got stories
shit.
too.
The Best Coast Pairings app, trash, fucking garbage. What? These apps have been out for years at this point. Why are they still so fucking bad, bro?
Because they don't hire software devs to improve the quality of life. It's just to keep it
crazy.
going. Now,
crazy.
Lance said that last year they used RK9 and RK9
Yeah,
worked
we did.
flawlessly. And I'll say that every time I've used RK9 for online tourneys, no problem.
Easy.
Yeah,
Yep.
last year was super easy. I mean, yeah, last year was super easy. They had QR codes all over the place that you could scan and find your table and your pairing and everything. And I think it was through the web. It was through a browser though. I don't think it was an app.
RK9 doesn't have an app.
RK9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was through a
RK9.
web browser. I mean, I don't know. I mean, last year was Core TCG that ran it, right, Dan?
I don't
If
remember. I
they
think
used
so. I wanna say,
RK9,
yeah.
that sounds
yeah,
right.
I think Core
Because
TCG ran that.
PPG
last
uses
year.
BCP
Right,
and Core
right,
uses
right.
RK9.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Now, like I said, like I give props at the bare minimum that they had 2 guys from BCP on site to help. It didn't make things fucking easier though, because it's like, god damn, like if I wanted to use my 2-round buy to go check out the convention, I couldn't. Because I literally spent the 30 minutes to get unchecked in and then spent all that fucking time in line to get checked back
Yeah.
in.
It was crazy.
Like
It was so
I
slow
literally
moving.
didn't have a 2-round buy. I literally got like, it's like for getting my 2 free wins, I got to stand in line for 2 hours. Like that was the trade-off, essentially.
Yeah.
That's fair though. You got 2 wins, bro. Eat shit. You gotta stand in line. Deal with it. Like,
Fuck you, Adrian.
I think. I mean, it's probably because the system can't recognize the buy. Like they don't separate the buys.
I don't even care about that, right? My biggest gripe with it was you had us show up on the Friday to get registered. Why was it not, if we were going to be checked into BCP, why did you not go through the 2-round buy list? Because we had to verify that our names were on the 2-round buy list to make sure that we had the 2-round buy. Why did we have to come and get checked out instead of you going through the list and seeing who came and checked in on Friday to check them out, then at the start of the round to check them back in? And why was there not more communication on this part? Like that's my gripe, because it's like there were things in place for you to handle it better, and you didn't.
For sure, they easily could have done it on Friday. We're like, all right, if you had the 2-round buy, we're going to keep you checked out. Be okay with being checked out. You got the 2-round buy. We got to check you back in on the Friday, on the Saturday or something. And then like the people who didn't have the 2-round buys, you're immediately checked in. They could have done something like that where you didn't have to go back and forth, and it wouldn't be such a hassle.
None of this should have been happening on the day of the tournament. That was so stressful. Like I can only imagine, like, okay, if I just for some reason I overslept and I got there at like 9 o'clock. But the tournament starts at 9:30, I'm good. And I don't hear the announcement to go get checked out for my 2-round buy. Then all of a sudden I'm paired against somebody and I have to play. And it's my fault that I didn't get checked out for something that I shouldn't have had to be checked out for. And then subsequently to get checked back in. If I went to check out the tournament or if I went to get food or something, and now there's this big ass line that I have to get checked back in for, and now I'm fucked out of that, because fucked out of the whole tournament because whatever, you know, it's just that level of miscommunication when it comes to the 2-round buys, and the way it was handled was just very bad. And I don't mind it. Like, I didn't mind having the 2-round buy. I also didn't mind playing the 2 rounds if I needed to. If it's just easier to go back to just doing invites, then just do the invites, because I'll be fucked if I got to go through that shit again. If I top 16, next year. Like
speaking of the Bandai app that Mike mentioned. Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Bandai app, so I thought this was the reason, but One Piece, on the One Piece side, they were trying to use the Bandai app.
Yeah, I heard they got
theirs like blew up the app or something, whatever happened. I guess all the people something, so they had to switch. So the issues happened, and they had to switch to, I think, BCP, right?
I think that's what I heard.
They heard to switch to BCP.
Anything.
I just know they switched off of the Bandai app, so that's why theirs started like 2 or 3 hours after us or something like that.
I heard they had to repair like 2 or 3 times.
They repaired 3 times. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And we had it was the most weirdest thing. We had a repairing as well that didn't repair. I was like, that made no sense. I was at whatever, I think it was round 4. I think it was Varney, the repair. They were like, hey guys, repair. So I was at table 222 prior, and then after I was table 222 with the same person. I was like, cause that makes sense. That's not a repair then.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, just real quick to add to what you were saying, if we go back to when national season was first announced for 2023-2024, or I guess it's 2023 at this point. They weren't going to do an open Nats. It was just going to be invite only. Correct. So then too much uproar in the community because it took it away from shop championships. For like scrubs like me who got their invites last year through shop championships, we complained, so they took it away. So they decided to do a solid for the community and open it up. But that probably caused a lot of issues because they weren't prepared, because they had a plan in the beginning of it being invite only, and that's a lot easier to organize because invite only, you probably would have had half as many players as you did, and it would have been a lot easier to organize buy, and they wouldn't have been no buy system. The only reason you guys got buys is because they gave you your 2-round buy because they opened Nats, right?
Yeah, right. But, I don't even, but like honestly, it's not like I can't even say that they cared that people were complaining, because they didn't change their mind until like 4 or 5
It was
months
a very
ago.
last minute.
Like it was very last minute.
Because there was like 2 regionals.
Like
there was 2 regionals left.
If we were gonna say like they changed their mind because like people were complaining, then they would have done that like way sooner. Like by the time they changed their mind, everyone in the community had already agreed, like, oh, we have to get our invites through topping, like whatever. It is what it is. We're over it at this point. We have to top. And then randomly they're just like, by the way, we've changed our minds.
I have a question for you guys. Did we know Card Game Fest was going to be happening at the beginning of the year? When did we find out that was happening?
They announced, I'm pretty sure they announced that.
I'm pretty sure they at the same time as the open.
Yeah, that was late.
I would like to think that is the reason that they went open invite, really, because they would have only obviously had the 200, 300, 400 players that got the invites for both One Piece and Digimon and Battle Spirits by association. And I would assume that instead of, capping yourself at basically 1,000 players total across all your games, they were like, hey, we can make a lot more money if we open this up to everybody.
So it's the reason they opened up Nats. The real reason is because they had 1,001 players for Digimon Nats last year. And they knew that if they were going to have invite only, that would be drastically cut off to a lesser number. And having a convention center rented for 3 days is very expensive. So Bandai was probably like, we're going to have to eat shit on this and open it up and have all just the floodgates of people come to Nats to try to break even. And that's, unfortunately, that's what business is all about because it's revenue based. But you can't make a decision like that last minute if you're not going to pony up and be ready for the consequences. Now, it's probably easier for them to have done the Card Fest because it's just a very huge Bandai event. So they can probably justify spending the money on the convention center for all those days, but it's a Bandai exclusive event. It's not like there's Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or whatever other card game. It's just Bandai, so it's good to get eyes on everything else. But you know what? The one thing I will give Bandai, we give Bandai a lot of shit, and we're warranted because we're allowed to, speak our minds. They do learn from their mistakes. So hopefully this is a learning process for them, and next year it'll be a lot more smooth.
There were a lot of Bandai execs at the event as well. Like you could tell that because obviously, they were Japanese. So obviously you knew they were Bandai reps and execs of various sorts. I mean, you had Gavin, which for those of you who watch anything related to One Piece card game, Gavin heads up like all of the One Piece like TikTok, YouTube channel, whatever shorts. But because he speaks English and Japanese. So I'm sure he might be like a student over there and got his way in, but he was there. You had all of the Japanese execs like running the show behind the scenes. Obviously, you had the voice of like Usopp. You had the singer for some of the Digimon openings. You had the singer for some of the One Piece openings. Like, there was a lot of heavy hitting shit that you wouldn't be able to get if it wasn't Bandai, to be honest.
Right.
You also had the likes of, Cosmic Plays and UniX TCG, Ying Huang, also known as Human, and Doa. I'm forgetting a couple other people, True Champ Steven and Yoshi Sudarso, obviously, like heavy hitters in like the content creation space and just in general, like publicity. Like, you can tell that, yeah, it was a Bandai event and they definitely put together, I would say they put together a good show, to be honest. It was a great show, a great event. It's just the handling of the logistics of their tournaments were really bad.
Yeah.
PPG, I give them shit for the handling of the 2-round buys. That was bad. There's no excuses for it. There were ways that you could have worked around it. But overall, they did a good job running the Digimon event because we didn't end up like One Piece, who was completely and utterly fucked. They ended the night with 3 undefeateds, which is, I know if I was a player, I'd be fucking outraged. Because 3 undefeateds, that means I saw people saying they ended up like number like 4, 5, 600 when they could have been top 64. Like, it was that bad. So definitely a lot on the tournament organization side needs to improve. And Play TCG is obviously the one that goes hand in hand with Bandai when it comes to the States, because it's where Robo Sushi works, if you guys didn't know. Robo Sushi is our level 0 judge for Digimon. So it makes sense that like that's the connection there. But knowing now that PPG handled the Digimon event, all the TOs get equal level of shit because there needs to be better communication between both TOs and
Bandai.
It
was weird. It was like Bandai didn't communicate with Play TCG, and then Play TCG didn't communicate with PPG about Digimon. And it was just weird. It seemed like it was just like a lot of miscommunication about it, because you could tell with the Bandai staff. So they had like Bandai staff, and then they had like I guess they hired like random people, staff. And then they had like the PPG's staff. This is how unorganized it was. PPG's staff, I forget his name. He's one of the main head judges.
Nightmare.
Is that his name? The one with the long hair?
Yeah, Nightmare. His real name is Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan, him. Yeah, he went up to like a staff area or whatever, or something like that. And he's a judge. He has the judge jacket on and stuff. And one of the Bandai staff was like, "Who are you? You can't be back here." He was like, "What do you mean I can't be back here?" He's like, they were like, "You're not staff." He was like,
he pulls out the badge.
He's like, he had to pull out a badge. He's like, "Bro, I'm staff. You see this judge jacket? I'm a judge." And that was the only way they were let in. Like, that's how, like, that's miscommunication right there.
Yeah.
How do you not know who your judges are and why they they're not allowed to go into like, the staff area or something like that? It's just so weird. It was just like, you could tell it was just a lot of miscommunication.
If anything, what Bandai should do? Sorry to cut you off, Arnie. What Bandai should do is it's hard because they're a multi-billion-dollar company and they have a lot of other things to worry about besides how their card game division is running. So I get it. We're probably low. We're probably low man on the totem pole because if you think about it, they got video games, they've got whatever, they've got even action figures and toys. That's probably all above where the card game sphere is. But in the last 3 to 5 years, Bandai has really spearheaded entering the card game space. I mean, by the end of 2024, they'll have 6 different card games, and I think now that they can probably shift their philosophy a little bit and finally jump in with both feet instead of dipping their toe in the pool. At least 5. Right, at least 5.
6 because you have to include Japan.
Japan's BSS, I guess.
Yeah. So if they can put more of an emphasis, and it's all structural and it's all infrastructure and all that. But if they can make like a division, like a Bandai card game division, and have a team that runs it, but like obviously outsources it to the specific games, but everything is still under the same roof, that's the only way you're going to get organization.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see the lack of organization within Bandai as a company and their card game division, because you do look at the One Piece. I mean, we saw, and this is a topic for another podcast, but we watched a presentation for Digimon, the news for 2024 and going forward.
Hey, check out our YouTube video on DigiPod United on YouTube. Got 3.5 thousand views, you know what I'm saying?
We have an English card game producer, and I'm sure it's the same for One Piece. I didn't see their presentation, but I'm sure they also have an English card game producer. Obviously,
sure.
Battle Spirits is headed up by two separate divisions because Saga is one, Battle Spirits is another. But you would think that these card game divisions would communicate, because at the end of the day, they're still card games, and there's still a lot of verticals that they share. There's still a lot of things that they can
under
pick up
one
off
big
of each
umbrella.
other. Exactly, under one big umbrella. Something as simple as I think we see it like 2024 going forward. Like I said, topic for another podcast, but with global unification coming, is that something that's going to stretch its wings into One Piece? One Piece probably should have been the first one that they did it with, to be honest, because it would have been easier. But the problem with One Piece is set distribution and printing. So, is Digimon the trial child, so to speak, about set unification, that if it goes successful, then they'll get into One Piece? We know that Union Arena is debuting with a One Punch Man set that I think we're getting simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they finally beginning to talk? Yeah, but I do think our English card game producer is new for 2024, I believe they said. So I think there's just like a lot of things going forward that like looks really bright. But prior to this, it was like, bro, like seriously, like what the fuck, So, overall, a really great event. I definitely enjoyed it. It was really enjoyable for everybody. But when it comes to like even the side events, I mean, we didn't even know when the side events went up. But forget about Sunday, Saturday.
Saturday side events were wild.
We didn't even know when they went up.
Don't know when they went up.
They just threw up the QR codes. Exactly.
On the wall. We're like, what wall?
Yeah. I was like, as a matter of fact, you know how fucked it was? I asked Nightmare, I was like, where, like, what do we sign up for side events? He was like, I don't fucking know. And he asked one of the staff members, and we're like, oh, it's on the other side of the wall. Well, why don't your judges know? Like,
that was
why
so
is
crazy.
this a discommunication? And so we went to sign up for the side events where there's like 10 other people trying to do it too. And of course, they're all filled. And you guys want to know why they were filled? Because the side events were open to spectators as well.
Yep.
And I don't have a problem with side events being open to spectators. But when I, a player of your card game, spends $600 and some odd to fly out, get a hotel for the weekend to play at your festival, I expect to be able to enter a side event without needing to compete with the spectators and without needing to jump through hoops. And I was not able to do that because there was nothing on Friday. You had them going on during the event on Saturday, and Sunday. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, at least we got our spot.
Tell us about Sunday.
So it comes around. So obviously we're not in the top 64. So we're not in the top cut. I heard the top cut was kind of like a mess as well. Don't know as much details about it, but because we didn't make top cut, unfortunately.
We'll get to.
Anyways, so there was a line for side events. So we're like, all right, let's go to the line. We heard from our friend Leppy that the line is pretty long. He's gonna hold a spot because the original plan was for us to sign up for the 3v3s. It was gonna be me, Varney, and Leppy. So that was the goal. So he saves us a spot. We go up there. the line is like wrapped around the building or some shit. Like the
So I don't even know if I can illustrate it.
I don't know, not on TV, not on like a camera, but like it was like let's say
if you guys know what a convention center looks like, so think about the size of a con room.
I don't know, like if I could go by like my camera angle. So let's say I'm pointing at the camera angle over here, right? The camera angle, that corner is where the start of the line is for people to sign up. This went all the way down to like on the other side, went around, wrapped around twice around there, some nonsense, and came around. It was like the most asinine thing ever. It was crazy. Because the problem was they decided to have one line for all side events, which means all of Digimon, all of One Piece, all of One Piece, all of BSS, and I think Dragon Ball was included. I don't know. No, it wasn't. Okay. Because I think Sunday was just there, like Battle Arrow, like the gaming tournaments. But yeah, so mind you, it's more One Piece players than Digimon players there is. But there's also all these spectators that were there as well. So we were stuck in such a giant line. And then they finally had the brains to be like, hey guys, let's separate this from One Piece and Digimon. Do you know how fast it went for us? It was so quick because we was like
only
in the
for
mid.
us,
We
not
was like
for
in
One
the
Piece.
mid. We was like in the middle of the line, maybe. And mind you, the middle of the line was like
the middle of the line isn't saying shit. Okay,
was across like the convention center, wrapped around.
We weren't in the snaking portion because there's a portion of the line that's snaked at the end, and we weren't in the snaking portion. That's how long the line was.
So crazy for it. And then the moment when they decided to separate, we finally was able to get up and like started moving. Man, we walked more than the line itself did. And then we got up there, and then they were like, "You only can sign up for one event."
And
so
not only one event, but you could only sign up for the nearest time slot. So you couldn't even say, "Well, I want to go do this. Can I register for the number 3 time slot?" No, you had to register for the nearest time slot.
And if you wanted to do multiple, it wasn't happening. They were just saying,
"Wow."
To make it worse, so we signed up for the 3v3. And I was like, okay, when do the individual events fire off? When we get enough people.
Because that was helpful.
So you're telling me, so the 3v3 fires off at 12:30. So you're telling me that if I sign up for the individual event, it can fire off within the next 10 minutes or the next 3 hours based on how the line is going.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody wanted to register for the 3v3s because of the pricing. Yes. I registered for a tournament. And not only did I not know when it went on, I wouldn't have been able to participate in it because by the time our 3v3 started, I think is when the 3v3 sold out. Or right before our 3v3 started is when the 3v3 sold out.
No,
and
all events.
No, it wasn't all events because you could still sign up for single events. The problem was, and this was a problem, shout out to Treasure Eyes, who we did meet. Treasure Eyes and Nikesh, but Treasure Eyes was standing in line to get registered for the 3v3 because they said only one person from your team needs to stand in line to get registered for the 3v3. So then they said the 3v3s are sold out, and then I assume that Nikesh tried to hop in line with Treasure Eyes, and they were like, "You can't hop in line, you got to go to the back of the line." And he's like, "I was just standing in line. You told me the 3v3 is sold out, and I can't even register me and my friends for the single events, and that they need to hop to the back of the line because you didn't have the foresight to say, hey, there's only 3 events running today with this limited capacity cap, and not everybody's going to be able to register." Like, that's why Dan and I stood in line, because we were like, first of all, we're already standing here. We might as well stand together. But in the event like that, like, yeah, then we would have been able to register for our single events, but then people like Treasure Eyes got screwed out of it because they made the agreement. Hey, you stand in line, we're going to go do this or we're going to go do that. And now they have to go to the back of the line. And now at the back of the line, there's the potential that the single events sell out, that you won't even be able to get registered. So it's a complete shit show for signing up. And let's not even talk about One Piece. I saw the One Piece line pull out chairs. That's how bad it was.
That was so crazy.
It was.
That's next level.
That's hilarious.
They pulled out chairs to sit on.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure when I say this, we finished our 3v3 side event, so that was 5 rounds, and there were still people waiting online for One Piece events. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
That's nice.
If I remember correctly.
I do remember that. That is how bad it was. And I don't know who the TO was for One Piece. I don't know if it was Play TCG or somebody else, or even if it was PPG. I don't know. I don't know those logistics and I can't speak to them. All I can say is that from a TO perspective, that tournament, that the side events were not handled well. You had to go up to the registration counter to get signed up. If you didn't show up for your time slot, you were shit out of luck. Matter of fact, our pairings went up for the 3v3 and we were like, where the fuck was the announcement? Like literally, Dan and I were like running around. We're like, yo, where are we supposed to go? Which, quick thing, shout out to Captain Cinema. We're going to get to this later.
I was going to get to it.
We're going to get to like the results and everything that we did later. I just wanted to get over the like complaining part of pod. But like, we were running around with Captain Cinema. We were like, where the fuck, where is this going on? And then they finally made the announcement, you know, Digimon 3v3 group 2, you're back here, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, bro, this communication is like non-existent.
And it was so funny because the reason why we ended up needing a third person, because we had Leppy sign up at the same time and I signed up. So we were like, oh, shoot, we can't get out of this now.
Knowing them because the line was so long, we were like, what if like we go and they're like, oh, well, both you and him are signed up. You guys need 2 separate teams.
Yeah, so he ended up going found another 2, and then we were like scavenging for a third, and we potentially had a third from like the Connecticut group, and then we saw on like Twitter Captain Cinnabon needed a team for 3v3s, and we were like, yo, come on through. And then we were like, what deck you playing? She was like, Red High. We were like, say no more.
So we'll get there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But just in general, like the takeaway from the weekend in terms of like the event was like, it was a great event. I love that Bandai did this and I hope they do it going forward. I just also hope that they see that we love their card games and that they should give us a little bit more attention. Because we will willingly, like if that event was like $30 to get in, I would pay $30 to get in. If it means that half of those people won't be there,
sure,
or something, because they were even selling a product. Now, they were selling One Piece product. So I don't even need to say anything more. You can imagine how many people found out and came in just to buy One Piece product at MSRP. Because they had OP05, which is like going for some shit like $3,500 a case right now, almost $300 a box. They had OP, I think honestly all of OP 2 through 4, but OP 2 and 3 I think were just booster packs, not an actual box.
This is what I heard what happened. Because people were so online for it and they were like, we don't have enough. They limited people instead of buying boxes to 5 packs.
Oh, okay.
Per person. That's what I heard.
That sucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like there was that many people. Now Digimon also had products selling, which I was excited for. I stayed away from making a bad decision, but I did see X record boxes for $100, and I was like, that's a tough decision there. If they had BT14, I might have bought. But I was like, X record for $100.
They had the Mel Greymon model kit. I so wanted it, but the lines was just so ridiculously long.
Because all the lines were for the same thing. It's not even like One Piece product, Digimon product, you know, P Bandai. Like, no, it was just all bad. And speaking of P Bandai, bro, the P Bandai pre-order line for Friday,
ridiculous.
I think Lance
from
said
One Piece and Digimon and whatever else. That was for pre-order. So you had to pre-order those. I think it was like the gold.
It was the play mats and the sleeves. Yeah,
and that play mat with the Dorogoromon on it. It was ridiculous how long that was.
I think Lance said he stood in that line for an hour and then said, "Yo, fuck it, we're out of here." I was like, "What? an hour and then you said fuck it?
Yeah, I would have been like 10 minutes. I'm gone, bro.
Bro, that was me to Dan when we were standing in the demo line. I was asking the guy, I was like, yo, what's the timeline? He was like, well, you know, we're trying to get people signed up for 8 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you got a timeline though? What's the time? He was like, we're looking to get everybody, you know, up and running in the next few minutes. 15 minutes passed. I was like, Dan, we getting out of this line?
Yeah,
he's like, we already stood here. Let's give it another 15 minutes. We give it another 15. It still didn't move. I was like, bro, what's going on? He said, I don't know. I was like, there's no fucking way you don't know, Chief. Like, this is insanely bad. So the TLDR of the complaint about Bandai part is Bandai put on a good event. Bandai put the hosting of their tournaments into the hands of their tournament organizers. And honestly, their tournament organizers kind of dropped the ball with a lot of the tournament. The finals for Digimon ran smoothly. It ran smooth enough. No big hiccups. We had that one repair, which wasn't a big deal. The biggest problem was the 2-round buys, and that was only for us. Let's not even talk about how the 2-round buys went for One Piece, because God knows how the fuck that went. I don't even want to know how that went, especially because they were using TCG Plus. Play TCG needs better communication with PPG and vice versa. They both need better communication with Bandai. And I think they just need to... Lance said this, and this couldn't be truer. I think the lack of IRL events for 2023 just kind of like said like, oh, how do we run an IRL tournament again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree heavily. Like, nothing could be truer. If you were running IRL events throughout all of 2023, wouldn't have this issue. And I can't blame PPG for that, because I remember PPG wanting to host a tournament at Too Many Games for regionals again. Yeah, they were shot down. Yep. They were shot down by Bandai. Don't know why. I don't know the logistics, but I heard that's what happened. And another thing is that they were also going to have like a pre-Nats party and a post-Nats party on the Friday night and the Sunday night. And for some reason, they were also shot down from doing
Saturday
that
night.
too. Whatever night it was, they were shot down from doing that too. And it's like, look, I see PPG trying to do the Lord's work. Why are they being shot down from doing the Lord's work? I don't know. So I don't know what needs to change between Bandai and Play TCG, because obviously Play is the head. They run the organized Play judge program for Bandai. They're kind of the go-to because of Robo Sushi and whatnot. I don't know what needs to change, but that's an issue. You guys need to like just utilize these TOs. Like, we talk about there's not enough TOs to go around, and now you've got PPG who's, I mean, frankly, they're stretched in because they do everything. They do Lorcana one case, they do DBS. I mean, they were the entire DBS TO for the entirety of that card game, right, Adrian? Was there anybody else who ever did anything?
ARG.
Because as far as I know,
ARG in the beginning for like a year, and then it was PPG.
And PPG was holding their worlds up until, or nationals up until last year. Like, why is there not more faith in PPG? Why are we not utilizing the other TOs? Why is it like, why are there hoops to jump through? Like, these are easily fixable issues in my opinion. I don't know what needs to happen, but from a business perspective, you're losing money there. We're wanting to give you money for IRLs. We're wanting to give you money for all this sort of shit. People will show up, but you just need to do it, especially now that you're talking about global set release. Like, we just had a little bit under 1,000 players for Digimon.
Yeah.
One Piece was... It's conflicting. Originally, I heard 25, but then I heard like 500 or so didn't show up. Then I heard there was like 1,600 there for One Piece that were like registered on the day of, but we can go with somewhere between 1,600 to 2,000 players for One Piece.
Yeah.
And they get IRL regionals all the time, and they fucking sell out.
Right.
But if there's 1,000 players for Digimon, imagine what a Digimon IRL tournament would do. 512 even? Like
512 with cap.
It's there.
2 years ago, when we had those all those regionals on the East Coast, which was like the Philly one, the Otakon one. I can't remember the third one of that group.
But they were all PPG.
They were all capping out at the 512 mark or whatever it was. So it's like, why would you not do it? It's not like they wouldn't do it. They want to do it.
I don't know. That's what leads me to believe there's some kind of issue with, you know, whoever with PPG, because PPG is the one who's doing all of that, especially for the East Coast. And now it's like, well, if PPG can't do it, nobody will, because we don't, on the East Coast, we don't have anybody else.
Right.
Plays in Texas, Cores in Cali, Top Cut, I think they're in Cali. They could also be in Chicago, but they don't do IRL events. And Carta's in fucking Canada. So for the Northeast, we're kind of fucked. And we thrive off of PPG, which is all the way down in Florida. So first of all, the fact that like we even have to survive off of a Florida TO to give us events up in the Northeast is already an issue. But if they're willing to do it, let them. I don't see what the issue is.
Real quick before we move on, I used to have a relationship with a brick and mortar card shop in New Jersey. I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but they were looking into getting into like the TO sphere and doing events. And to be honest, I hate saying the C word on the podcast. COVID did really affect a lot of that stuff, you know, with these convention centers and, you know, the sterilization and having staff and everything. So it just kind of skyrocketed all these prices for everything, and how difficult it was for an outside group to come in and basically just run the entire convention center for a weekend. The good thing about PPG is, for the most part, PPG has, you know, the finances or the means to have these events, but they're capped because they can only support so many things. You really need your backer, which is Bandai. Their pockets are a lot deeper. You need them to get involved. Bandai's problem, though, has always been individualization with tournaments. They have always had a problem of having just a Digimon tournament, or just a One Piece tournament, or just a Dragon Ball tournament. That's why they're trying to do these big Bandai card fests, because they can justify spending tens of thousands of dollars on these convention centers, knowing they're going to have tens of thousands of people. And let's be real, you're not going to get tens of thousands of people just for a Digimon event. You could get 1,000. Sure, you can get 1,000, but it's not just the convention center. It's the product that you're giving for prizing. It's the staffing that you have to have there. There's minimum requirements for X amount of people. There has to be X amount of people employed and staffed. Then there has to be sanitation and all this other. So it's a lot of heavy lifting that goes on behind the scenes that we just don't really know too much about. But it's not as easy as just saying, "Hey, there's 1,000 people that are willing to play Digimon IRL. Let's make it happen."
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think that, I mean, that's always been a complaint of mine. Bandai's, first of all, them originally stretching their TOs thin with all of their card games, and all these TOs supporting all of these card games. And, you know, even coming back to the original discussion of streaming, streaming nationals. Like, sure, I know that, LAX probably charged like what? 20, 30, 40 grand for internet. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it was fucking insane. So I get it. It makes sense from a business perspective. But, you know, when you're going through, just to your point, when we're talking about the logistics and the finances of putting events together, we have Bandai Card Game Fest. That should be something that's like accounted for. And it's, you can see why originally, like, Otakon was a regional, not just, well, here's a PPG event as a regional. You know, Carta had one at Anime North, because it's easier to have it as part of an already existing con, because you just rent out space as an exhibitor, and then you shirk a lot of those costs. We lost that last year. Like, I know a lot of it was handled bad in the years prior, firsthand experience from it being handled so poorly, but we lost all of that. It wasn't even that last year. So it's like, where is the middle ground?
All right, so I was saying, so they had the one in Texas, so that's 3. Then they had the LA one, so that's 4. And then they had
Core. And that was just a Core event, 4. I believe, as well.
Yeah. I think that's also only 4 IRL tournaments, really, outside of that.
There was one in Texas?
That's what I just said before.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
You had the MomoCon one, the Atlanta. You had Gen
Atlanta,
Con,
LA, Gen Con, Texas. I think that was it.
LA, yeah.
So, Yeah,
That's crazy.
I get it. It costs money, but
that's what it comes down to. It's just money. I think what you said. What's the middle ground? The middle ground was Nats. I think overall, maybe not as a tournament, but as an event, it sounded like it was a successful event. Now Bandai just has to come up with a schedule or a plan on how they're going to capitalize on it. Realistically, if you're gonna do it as like a Bandai Card Fest, where you're having all your games represented in one single venue, you can probably only do it like 3 or 4 times a year. You can't.
But they could do that. What they were doing 2 years ago. It's more expensive as for the player, unfortunately. But if a convention center is already going to have anime-esque stuff, just throw it in there like they did 2 years ago. That's zero money. That's like zero money out of pocket outside of doing their normal staff. Because I remember hearing about how much that really costs. And because it's already a convention that's already happening as like an anime convention, like Too Many Games, for example, right?
Right.
They don't have to pay like any extra cost. It's outside that small space they need for the tournaments. Because I remember it was Digimon, Dragon Ball from Bandai, and then they had Yu-Gi-Oh! One as well. So you can still do that again. And it's not like there's not that many. There's a couple of them, throughout the year. We have the one yearly in Philly. You have the one yearly in, Washington with Otakon. And you have the MomoCon. Gen Con, you have all these conventions. They could at least just throw in there and just call it a day if they don't want to spend outside money of them renting out a place like the LA Convention Center.
That's not even the issue. PPG was already willing to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
because Nightmare said, hey, I remember the post, and PPG had announced their tour that they do. And Too Many Games was on it, but it was only a 1K, meaning it was a PPG sponsored tournament, not a regional. And Bandai shot them down. And it's like, why? What? I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the logistics. I don't know what money you're putting out of pocket as Bandai, though, for a company that is already doing the tournament and just asking you to host the regionals.
Well, Bandai's doesn't have their hands in that pot. That's the problem. When you have a non-affiliated event sponsored by something outside of Bandai, they don't have any claims to it. Yes, they're using their product, but they have the right to, as a distributor or as a store, to use that product. So when they have an event like that, it's usually fronted by whoever the TO is. So let's use PPG as an example in this conversation. Bandai doesn't see anything from that. So the problem is that Bandai wants to have their cake and eat it too, which is how most businesses operate. So they want to do it their way so they can maximize their profits on their product. But they want to do it in a way where they can have like everything represented at once. And that's just really difficult.
So you would say like the advent of One Piece is kind of what put a nail in the coffin for Digimon IRL events in a way?
Well, if One Piece no, not necessarily. If One Piece keeps turning out these 1,000+ player events, that's going to line Bandai's pockets with a lot of money, and they're going to have a lot more extra exposable income. The only problem is they're going to take that extra income and just funnel it right back into One Piece.
Well, no, I mean previously, like this past year, because what One Piece had quite a few IRL tournaments,
right? Because they get the attendance, they get the 1,000+ players every time,
right? So is it because? Would you say it's because of One Piece that we went from 2024? We went from 2022's IRLs to before 2023 IRLs. But because One Piece was generating so much more, that's why they were like, oh, fuck Digimon. Why would we give them IRLs and the attendance just ain't there for it?
I mean, maybe. That's possible.
Obviously, it's speculation.
Right, that's a way of speculating it. The other problem is, unfortunately, Digimon was born in an online era. When the game first became popular really here in the States, it was during COVID. So there was no IRL events. So Digimon just adopted that online webcam-esque tournament style, and it hasn't really moved from there. So this is a lot.
It's a tale of two coins,
It really, you want your game to thrive, and as much as I hate playing on webcam, I understand why it's done, and the game is still thriving because of it, so I can't really complain. But, I'm
Right.
one of those guys, get off my lawn. I'd rather play in person across from somebody. But unfortunately, if you were to take the entire player base of Digimon and poll them, which is probably a good idea for a poll here, what would they rather? Would they rather IRL events, or would they rather playing from the comfort of their own home? So that's a question you have to ask.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't even think, I just wish there was, this is what makes me think that there's not a specific Bandai card game English division.
Well, there's
Because, the fact that we didn't even know, really, that there was an English card game producer until just recently. We always thought that it was just kind of handled by the same team that handled the JP version. Is okay, now they're seeing that we do need to be treated as our own region, our own card game, and maybe that's what will boon for us in 2024 and going forward.
Yeah.
Seeing that, oh hey, here's an entirely new vertical that can be capitalized upon. Here's an entirely new revenue stream and that type of stuff.
Yeah. We just need to
it's
keep
definitely a good
supporting the
goal.
game as players. We need to keep playing.
Yes.
We need to keep buying product. We need to keep voicing our opinion. Hey, listen, we haven't gotten X, Y, and Z. When can we get X, Y, and Z? They'll make adjustments very slowly, but surely they will make adjustments.
Yeah, agreed. So thank you guys for listening to that first hour and 20 minutes of complete Bandai slander, Bandai and TO slander. Bandai execs, if you're listening to this, just know that, we only do it because we love you. We love Digimon. We thought about it really when we seen them Bandai execs walk around, been yo, bro, let me tell you. Konnichiwa. DigiPod, the digital podcast.
Yeah, we not just today. Not just today.
Well,
Oh my god.
that got racist real quick.
Oh my god, this is why we're never gonna be commentating Nats finals because
real
of shit
talk.
like that.
Real talk, I have come to grips. I know Mario's gotten really upset about it. I have come to grips with knowing that I will never be sponsored by Bandai in any capacity.
Never say never. Never say never, dude. I've seen some.
I
shit.
have come to grips.
Hey, bro, we
with
can delete
knowing that
our podcast and start fresh. They don't want to know about all the awful things I've said on
I've
here.
seen some shit, bro. Never say never.
We will most likely not be sponsored by Bandai or affiliated with them in any sort of way because we are very vocal and honest, but also fucking Bandai, right? But that's besides the point.
Always got to drop an F-bomb for no reason. That's why.
Always for some fucking reason, bro. We tried in the beginning. We tried to stop it, and then it just it digivolved, so to say.
All you. Just remember, it's all you.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
It's definitely,
Anyways,
definitely mostly Varney, yeah.
Now that we're an hour and whatever into it, now we have to talk about the heartbreak that Dan and I experienced over the weekend. So I'll go first.
Y'all both lost.
I'll knock mine out the way. We both lost. So I went into the weekend
hey,
playing Ubismon.
Y'all showed up.
They were there physically, yes.
They were there physically. I was there in spirit.
If I could have found a flight home on Sunday, we were coming home on Sunday, okay?
You're bugging, bro.
That is how heartbroken I was. No, you don't understand. I was so heartbroken.
No, I understand, bro. I
Saturday.
received a phone call from you at fucking 1 a.m. on Saturday night, bro.
All right, let me tell it. So let me tell the story. So I decided to play Anubismon. I felt very confident with it, except against Red Hybrid, and I said, fuck it. If we face Red Hybrid, we take that out. Obviously, 2-round bye. Started off with the 2-0 win. I played against a Melga deck, which I won 2-0. Biting Crush, GG. I then played against a Red Hybrid player and said, my first loss of the day. And they didn't even have to play Crimson Blaze. I just got outrushed. It is what it is. Went to round 5. I played against a former regional champion. He won a regionals playing Shine Greymon. This tournament, he was playing Fenrir Lugomon, and I dropped Biting Crush on him the first time I saw Biting Crush, and I said, deal with it. And the first game, he did not deal with it, and that proceeded to lock up that game. And then the second game, I just out-aggroed the shit out of him, and I won that 2-0. Round 6, I played against, I want to say, an Anubis Mirror. I think the guy I played against in round 6 was a former, in the tournament that I topped with Examon, he was the other Examon in the top 16 or the top 32, I believe. I think it was top 30. I can't remember which one. But he was the other Examon player. So that was cool. We were talking. Unfortunately, he bricked. My man's literally said pass twice. And I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. First game was great. Second game, he bricked. Round 7, I played against another Anubis Mirror, and I lost that, unfortunately. The first game, I just been playing this way all day, and so it just didn't phase me. And in hindsight, you know, I will know that I gotta temper when I'm being aggro, because again, I'm not an aggro player. I established Anubis, and I had an ignite from a previous turn, and I figured I would just take a swing at security, get the one check, and then ruin mode to lock him out of his turn. And the first check was Bite and Crush. My Anubis stack is gone. I didn't have a Merva because I couldn't do a Merva play. It was just, I think I played like a Rare Mon or something. I was like, well, I probably lose this game. And I did, because he then popped off and there was nothing I could do. So lesson learned, if I have the ruin mode in hand, rather than take the risk, I'll just go into ruin mode, lock you out a turn till I can convincingly lock down the game again next turn. And then game 2, I bricked, so I lost. So basically a story of what happened around 6 to my opponent. Round 7, I played against Red Hybrid, which I somehow won 2-1. So me beating my demons. And from there, I was like, fuck, if I can beat Red Hybrid, I've got this. I can do this. Round 8, I played against a Mirage deck. I kicked their ass 2-0. Round 9, I played against an Anubis Mirror. Again, I want to say. I don't really remember what it was, but I want to say it was Anubis. Whatever it was, I beat that. Then round 10, Anubis Mirror. First game, the same exact thing happened. I took a swing at security, Biting Crush. Anubis stack gone. I didn't have the ruin mode, but because I had already had a Biting Crush set, it sucked, because that meant when he popped off, his Leviamon had turn priority, and mine's basically does nothing. And an unfortunate situation happened with the judges. I don't really know how to explain it, other than how many times can you say, hey, in this hypothetical situation, how does everything play out for the judges to understand that? We were questioning like the chain of resolution, because I was thinking about like when he plays the Digimon by effect, my Leviamon procs, but then his Leviamon procs, which one chooses each other up first, blah, blah, blah. And the judges were like, well, we don't know if we can tell you that information. I was like, it's public knowledge that both cards are here. Both cards are in trash and the 2 cards are in the field. So the only thing that we're trying to clarify is what affects proc when. They didn't want to give us that knowledge, and then they gave it to us 3 times after, like we said it 3 to 4 times. Both of us collectively said, we just want to clarify the hypothetical. Like, we're not actually doing this. And then at the end, the judge was like, well, wait, your Leviamon is still on the field. And we were like, no, we were just trying to figure out how it plays out. And he was like, he had this like look on his face like, did you guys really just do this to me? And we were like, this is what we were asking. And so we were like, the other guy had asked, is this the ruling that you're giving as the judge? And he was like, yes. So it wouldn't have mattered either way. Like, again, I got screwed out of the turn player priority because of the way that it goes back and forth. But just I don't know how many times you can say it. I'm just trying to understand this for the judge to be like, well, this is what it is. But whatever, I lost that game 2. And then game 3, I bricked like a dirty motherfucker. I opened up Cerberus X, Mervamon, Dexmon, Biting Crush. And I went first. Not by choice, obviously. So I passed, figured the best play. Came back to me after he set up like Rookie and something. And I said, okay, cool. We drop Mervamon because I drew into something else. I want to say it was like another level 5 or something. No, it wasn't even Mervamon. I think I just dropped the Cerberus. That got popped. He popped off. And then I said, okay, cool. I just lose from here. So I lost my round 10. Unfortunately, that was the loss that sealed. It was the 2 Anubis losses that sealed my fate. I unfortunately lost to both mirrors when I'm extremely confident in the mirror. As long as I see my pieces, it's kind of the story. I'm confident in my skill. I said this in the vlog, so I'm not going to elaborate on it too much here, but I'm confident in my skill. I know I've got the mirror any day. You can put me in the mirror and I'll kick the mirror's ass. I just didn't see my pieces. So unfortunately, it is what it is. I proceeded to call my boys. I called Mike and Mark, and I cried like a little bitch.
I wouldn't say like a little bitch. That seems rude.
Nah, that shit was tough, bro. I was heartbroken because I know my opponent. To put in perspective, my opponent at the end of Swiss was 44. So if I had won, I would have been top 64. I would have made top cut. So I was completely heartbroken. I was so upset. I legitimately cried myself to sleep that night. That's why I was like, if I could have found the flight home, like that's how defeated I was, because I was like, there's no fucking way, like I just lost to myself essentially. I unfortunately couldn't play the game, and in a way got punished for it, so to speak. It was tough. I hated that feeling of knowing that there was literally nothing. There wasn't even any retrospective. It wasn't even like, well, I could have done this. No, what do I do? That was the mulligan hand on top of it, Yeah. Because my opening hand, I didn't have any rookies. And in the mirror, you don't really want to open no rookies. Like, you're trying to turbo up. I had a wisdom, but I was going first. I was like, I can't open no rookie, because if I'm on the back leg, like I'm fucked. And so I'm like, all right, how much worse can it get? Well, obviously it got like really bad. So yeah, that's how my tournament went. You
had a Dan type of brick.
I had a Dan type of brick. I ended Swiss. I did place higher than Adrian, so we take those wins.
Well, what?
I placed 107.
Hold on a second, real quick. You placed 107 out of 975. I placed 112 out of 1,001. So if you do the percentage, right? It's both top 11%. I'm just slightly higher by a decimal point. I think it's like I'm like 11.
Did you do this math already?
I did the math earlier. I did. Of course I did.
Bro literally came prepared to the pot. He did his homework, bro. Holy shit.
You heard how he had that? He had that shit. He was like, I'm waiting for this motherfucker to say it.
I was waiting. I was like, you're like a 10th of a percentage lower than I am.
This motherfucker said a 10th of a percentage.
A 10th of a percentage. Crazy. But hey, man, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile, baby. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's funny as shit.
All I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Well, I ended Swiss 107. Like Adrian said, like out of like 970 some people. So realistically speaking, it's not bad. It is very respectable. It is just unfortunately not up to my expectations. I said it in the vlog. The expectation was top 64. Mm-hmm. And this was before, okay? This was before we knew that Top Cut was top 64, because originally we only expected Top Cut to be 32, but they announced that it was going to be a top 64 Top Cut, which had us like, whoa, that's amazing. Like, I can comfortably lose to 2 red hybrids and not have to worry about it.
I don't know how y'all got 11 rounds with less players than we did last year with more.
10 rounds.
Yeah, still same difference, because we only played 9 rounds last year.
We had a crap ton of draws last year.
Yeah, I will say there was, because I mean, if you think about it, my record was 7-3 and I was 107. Mm-hmm. And my opponent, the one who beat me, he was an 8-2 and he was 44. That means every 10-0, 9-1, 8-2, and 8-1-1 made it in, I guess, or in 9. Yeah,
and
whatever.
I think the last spot made in with I think it's what 7-1-2 record.
7-1-2. Good lord.
I think.
It's the points and the breakers, man. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, really, honestly. So, again, respectable finish. We expect more out of ourselves. We're a competitive group of guys, and that hurt. It hurt a lot. But
you're top 11% in the nation, bro. You realize that?
Yeah. I know I'm a good player, and that's what it boils down to. So that was me. Dan, I don't know if you want to recap it or if you want to save it for a vlog.
I'll talk about it.
My guy Dan just was like, man, fuck this shit.
I went X4, so that was 6-4 record. Round 1 playing against Fenrir Luga. I lost that one in 3 games. I won game 1 because I floodgated the crap out of him, and then Shine OTK'd him. Game 2, I had, I guess, hindsight 2020. I should have Crimson Blazed him when I was at 0 instead of drop the floodgate. And that ended up costing me the game because he just popped with the Hellugar. So my reasoning why, because I saw him already use 2 Hellugars, and he did a lot of searching after that, and he didn't see one, so I didn't see one. So that was like, all right, he might not have it. We'll see how it goes. If he has it, he has it. And he ended up killing me. And then game 3 was a bit back and forth. I had the most godlike security, and I couldn't draw a single Shine Greymon. I think it was that game. Or Geogray, I don't remember which one. It was both the whole day.
It was a Geogray.
It was odd. It was either or that I wasn't drawing either of them, and I lost because of that. And then he used. I would have had gained the following turn if he wasn't able to get up to 4 memory and drop. What was that card called? Revive the Darkness.
Revive from the Darkness from BT5.
Yeah, that you could bring back a level 4 if you kill something, but like we had
delete one of your Digimon. Then you may play a level 4 or lower Digimon from the trash.
Right. So he had nothing on board, and he was able to activate that effect and play a Black Owl that had Rush, and then GG. Round 2 was a bye for me, so it was a win because nobody showed up. Round 3, I played against a Melga player who I should have won, but I lost because I couldn't draw Geogray game 1. Game 2, I couldn't draw into a Shine Greymon. When I looked into the deck, 5 cards in or something like that, it went Shine. I was like, yeah, it's just impossible because, just my luck. Round 4, I played against a Mirror, and I beat him 2-0. Round 5, I lost to Fenrir because I just couldn't see things. I think one was a terrible break, and then the other I couldn't see a Shine Greymon again. And then after that, I lost to a War Greymon player who was not the best. Let's put it like that, because I bricked in game 3 super hard, and then it was weird. And then I had another bye within the next 4 rounds. I don't remember what, but then I played against Hunters, a Garurumon on deck, and then Yellow Vaccine. And guess what? 2-0'd all of them. Because guess what? I saw at least one of each piece. That's all I need. And you just OTK people. And it's just very frustrating because when I know I'm a good player, and I know if I can play the game, I don't think anyone can really outplay me. And in the games
except
that I played,
Varney, of course.
Sure. Anyways, so it's just unfortunate that I couldn't play the game, because that's legit how my losses were. It was just like, all right, cool. I get to Agu, There's no Geo Gray. What do I do with it? Nothing.
Can I interject real quick, Dan?
Sure. You're gonna say something dumb probably, but go ahead.
No, actually, I mean, if you want me to, I will. But for people who might like listen to like this podcast for the first time, or might be like a listener of like the last couple episodes, you might like listen to Dan. You might think he's like really arrogant. You might think like oh, that guy thinks he's better than everybody.
It's because he is.
He really is.
Tell him.
It's because
he really is.
I talk a lot of shit with Dan.
Fucking good player.
Me and Dan talk a lot of shit to each other, but he's a phenomenal Digimon player.
I wouldn't be the player I am today. I wouldn't have placed 107 if it wasn't for Dan. I wouldn't have won fucking
put the middle finger
regionals.
down.
Sorry. I wouldn't have won a regionals with Examon nonetheless if it wasn't for Dan. This is the guy that I play test with. This is the guy that I go back and forth with. This is the guy that like it's the four of us for DGU, but in the beginning it was me and Dan. Like, he is good. I just don't know what the fuck he does. That this motherfucker be drawing Shine, Rise Gray, Final Shining Blast, and like, I don't know, Geo Gray. And then Rookie is like 4 cards on. Like, it's something about his shuffling. I don't know what he does.
It's a sleeve.
But this guy is truly good at the game. So
it's the sleeves.
Don't think of it. Okay,
I bought brand new sleeves, okay? So just so you know, I bought brand new.
It's the sleeves.
It's the sleeves.
Don't think
I don't know, bro. Maybe
arrogance.
You just suck at shuffling. You ever think about it like that, bro?
Yeah, don't think that it's arrogance.
Every day.
Don't
every day
think that it's anything like, oh, he thinks he's better than everybody. No, like it's confidence in his skill. He has it. I know he has it. It's just unfortunate that like when it comes to fucking tournaments, this motherfucker's shuffling luck is impeccably bad. Okay? Impeccably bad. I told him he's got a double sleeve.
And then it's like, you know, sometimes like you have a break, but like it's like, all right, it's not that bad. I could probably live if I draw 1 card. Yeah. I never get that one card either. I never. And the funniest part, I had a hand one time. It was like 4 rookies. It's like, no question, you keep, right? You play it out. You're like, all right, bet. Evo, drop the searcher. You know what I don't ever see? The damn Sean Greymon.
Yeah. And
so you get to like a rise, because I always see the rise, no problem. I get to the rise with no problem, and it's just like, and you know, Sean Greymon, you do nothing with the rise outside of, you know, market swinging, and then that's it. And you hope it survives or you goes to security or something, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate the words from Vardy. Yeah, I placed, what was it, 326,
nice
I think it was. Man. I didn't even, I appreciate it, Adrian.
Unbelievable.
I said you were bad at shuffling, so.
I know. I appreciate it too. I appreciate everybody about that. Is that good?
That's much better.
So, didn't even make top 256 because of I had the worst opponent win percentages since I had the 2 buys and had a lot of people that dropped that I played against as well. So like I was the top 2, like within top like 250 or 2, like I don't know, whatever it was. They all had X4 records. It was just I had the worst opponent win percentage. I think it was like 40% or something like that. It wasn't that good of an opponent win percentage. So I didn't even make top. So super frustrating day. It's frustrating when I versed the second Melko player and I was able to just like do whatever I want and need it versus the first one when I had the opportunity to definitely have the W against that. Then you never know what happens after that type of thing, you know. Yeah, this is my point of why I know I'm a good player. So 3v3 comes around, right? Barney's like, yo, let's put you in the middle for the coach because you only could talk to the middle person is allowed to talk to the person on the left and right, right?
A talk to B talk to C, B talks to A and C. A and C do not communicate. So
we get to the final round and we're playing, and I played whoever I won already.
He played against Anubis and he kicked their ass.
Yeah, Captain Cinnabon. Yeah, because I had a good hand and he had an okay hand, but like didn't pop off. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna blow up your whole board. That's basically what happened. And he was playing Shine. Varney was playing Shine, and then I was Captain Cinnabon was playing. Yeah, Captain Cinnabon was playing against Sekon or a variation of Sekon. I don't know. All I knew was there was shout out to Rafi on board and with a Magna Andrew. So it seemed like Sekon. So me and Varney finished ours. I won mine. He lost his, and we're all looking like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" Because we need to know what's going on.
No, hold on. Let me tell you what happened. I bricked hard. I opened. I didn't see like a rookie, and he went into shine on his turn too, just to pass turn because he obviously you know that Anubis can't necessarily deal with a shine without the Spotamon. I had the whole setup. I had Goblimon, Ogremon. I just had no level 5s. It turns out 3 of my level 5s are in security. The moment that I couldn't do anything. It was just all level 3s and 4s in my hand. I was just like, well, I guess I'll just drop this. Dan turned to look at me. I was like, don't look over here. Go look at Captain Cinnabon because that's the game we gotta win here. We're not winning this one. It all hinges on her.
But so she's playing Red Harbor and she's like asking, hey, what do I do with this? There's a Shadow Serafi on board. I'm pretty sure this dude like hard played it. Mm-hmm. Don't question the play.
It was just a Shadow Serafi. There was no sources.
I'll just see you there, and she's like, "What do I do?" Because I, swing die basically. And I was like, "All right, let me look at it real quick." And so my first instinct was like, "Yo, you need to kill that Shadow Serafi." And then she's like, "But then I die." I was like, "Yeah, it's a sacrifice you might need to do." And if Arnie's like over here, "Yo, you can't do anything with it. Just swing in security." I'm like,
I was like trying to math it out. I was trying to math it out in my head about how to get around it, and there was just no good way of dealing with it.
There's no point. He was like, just deal with the Magna Angel and then swing after. I was just like, nah, she needs to deal with it still. And then like me and Vardy are like having like a small not argument, but like we were just going back and like, yo, do this. And she's like, and then Vardy at the wall was just like, you know what? You're the coach.
You coach. You do you.
So then I was like, all right. So go into whatever she was going into. I think it was the Emperor Greymon that pops. I was like, all right, go Emperor Greymon, pop Magna Angel, and then you swing over Black Serafi. And so obviously overflow happens. She keeps turn. She swings over the Black Serafi. So Black Serafi says on deletion you recover 1, and then -4, right? For every
for every card, which was 24k total.
He had 6. Killed the Emperor Grey. Mind you, this is why I knew it was going to be all right. That Emperor Greymon has the inheritable to drop the Tukuya again. And I was like, yo, so you die, you get to play the Tukuya back, and then you could just pop off next turn. And then she's like, what do I do now? Play the Flamemon, draw 2, trash 1. Boom, she drew into another Emperor Greymon. Next turn comes around, he didn't do anything. He's at 6 security. She has 2 Flamemons on board. Now he has that Tukuya to warp. So I was like, yo, warp into the Tukuya, warp into the Emperor Greymon, and then Atomic Inferno. And I was like, not Atomic Inferno, what's it called?
It is Atomic Inferno.
Atomic Inferno, sec plus 1.
Double Atomic Inferno.
And I look at the board, I was like, I saw her hand, I was like, yo, play another one. You're gonna be at 0, it's gonna be fine. And she was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, just do it. Full send. And she was like, all right, bet. Blow. So she's like, Emperor Greymon swing like 20k. Security checks don't happen.
That motherfucker was big.
5 checks. Boom. It was like 2
Digimon.
2 Digimon. Chaos degrade. Something else.
Something, yeah.
And I was like, swing, game. So like, to me in my head, I was like, all right, that showed that I made the right call. And I know in the situation, I don't play Red Hybrid at all. But I was like, yo, do this anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I was just knowing the cards, basically the idea of it and like what's going on with the situation, the board state, understanding board state, what to do with it. And understand that, you got to do A, B, and C to be able to win. And that's what happened. She ended up winning. And so like stuff like that, I always like, to me, shows me that I'm a good player as well. I had unfortunate luck.
You just got to play Red Hybrid, bro. I don't know why you playing anything else. That deck will be uber consistent for you. Watch.
Yeah, right.
You play with those Ukomons and you'll tear it up. You're going to make me turn back into my villain arc. Second all day.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so, and then we ended up getting, second place for the 3v3, which is super cool.
Because we had only lost to the eventual winners.
Yeah. Mike, you will love this one. You want to know what happened to me in that game?
Was it Breath of the Gods?
Almost. It was a security. That saved his his life. I was dead going for game, bro. So I had a Pillowmon on board.
You know what's crazy, bro? When I hit that Breath of the Gods, those people that we played against won the whole thing too.
Yeah.
That's so fucked.
So I was playing against Machijimon, and it's a bit of a hard matchup. And so he gets the first one on that doesn't have the DP protection, and I had a Pillowmon on board, so I negged to death. And then he tried to go Analog Man and drop the new one. I was like, yo, you can't do that. So that next turn, he couldn't do anything. So that following turn, I had game, had all the markers, I had shine and everything. I swing Marcus, and then 2 checks. First one was nothing. The next one was Congo. I was just like, there's just no way you just survive this now. And then he goes and hard plays the EX01 machine gun after that, and now I can't do anything. I was so sick.
Bro, that's fucking... That feels similar. It feels like...
But at least we got second, we got the top 4. Consolation prize, we got like $300 cards that are worth. The Metal Grandma was like 300. The BLs is like 200, something like that, right?
That motherfucker also money. 300.
Sell it.
Oh, is it 300? I don't know how much the months are. They're not listed.
Sell it.
Oh, I'm trying.
So it was cool. At least that was a consolation prize.
We were smart with the strategy this time, because last time when it was Dan, Mike, and I was the B chair, Dan was A, and Mike was C. And we figured, because I was playing Yellow Hybrid, Dan was playing Black War Gray, and Mike was playing Imperial. We figured they might try to counter, like they might think about the same thing. And so where are they going to stick their best deck? Because at the time it was Imperial, but it was also Yellow Hybrid because I was BT8. So I was like, yo, let me be B, because I might get like all the rogue-ish matchups, because they might have all the A's, and they might have like the Yellow Hybrids and stuff in A. I got fucked. I played against fucking D-Reaper. I played against fucking that SecCon matchup. Them shits were hard for Yellow Hybrid to deal with, all right? But also, well, no, I mean, that's just like the big thing. Like, Mike faced all the rogue matchups as to be expected with the fucking pre-BT9 Alphamon.
I still can't believe I lost that game. What the fuck?
Breath of the Gods. Oh my god. The card's cracked in security.
That was fine. Like, we said, you're Imperial, you go Burr, you fuck him up. You fuck up the rogue matchup and let Dan play the control game. Yeah, no. So this time I was like, all right, I'm A. Let me be the A player. Dan, you be B. You coach. And Captain Cinnabon was playing Red Hybrid. I'm like, you're Red Hybrid? It doesn't matter what the fuck they put in the C slot. You can fuck them up, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, for the most part. I think she was like 3-2, I think, or 2-3. I don't know.
It wasn't Breath of the Gods. It had to have been Congo too, then, right? Because
you got hit with the Breath of the Gods.
No, Breath of the Gods security.
For the turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the security effect.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what happened. I basically got the mirrors. I unfortunately got paired against the Red Hybrid, which again, to be expected, because like I expect to face the meta in the A slot. But somehow I pulled that game out. He didn't have the Atomic Inferno that he needed. Thank God.
Right.
He was drawing, and I was like, good, keep drawing, motherfucker. Keep using up that memory.
Like, oh my God.
The more memory that you use up, the less chances I know you're gonna see that Atomic Inferno. And he didn't see it, and I was able to win game. Because I said, fuck it. If he's gonna Crimson Blaze and wipe my blockers out, I might as well just attempt to go for game. So I took 4 swings at security. And unfortunately, a security or a memory setting Takuya popped out, but everything else was fine. So I had lethal next turn, even if he had dealt with some of my stuff. It was mainly just it was mainly to put the pressure on and say, hey, if you don't win now, you're fucked next turn, and that's exactly what happened. So mirrors, no problem. If I see my shit. Red Hybrid, apparently it ain't no problem if I see my shit. But yeah, the 3v3 was nice. It was definitely a nice consolation prize after the heartbreak of day 1 for both of us. Solidified that we were like, all right, cool, we're good enough. we're a decent enough set of guys. But I know we're at like 2 hours for this pod, so like let's start to wrap it up. I just want to shout out every single person who came up and met us at Nats. I know I won't remember all of you. Obviously, Leppy, you're our boy. Nikesh, Treasure Eyes, Red Riot. Who else? Saw Chaos Theory. Neon Sands. I know I saw Chaos Theory.
Quill.
Yep, met Quill. I'm forgetting your name. You saw us at the registration, and then we met again towards the end of the round. I can't remember his name. He said he had seen us in line, and then he didn't want to like shout out our names. I remember him.
I remember. Yeah.
I just don't remember his screen name, but yeah, like just so many people, so many of you guys, and even guys from fucking like who aren't in the Discord or don't respond as much on Discord, but they do on Spotify or YouTube. Because I know one guy was like, "Yeah, I'd respond on Spotify all the time." So like, it was like really cool. Like, never expected. I'll say it every time I reminisce on it. Never expected a fucking Digimon card game podcast to be, even somewhat remotely popular. So the fact that there are people who look forward to listening to us and our shit takes is pretty fucking cool.
You mean your shit takes?
Shut up. Hopefully next year, Mike and Adrian can come along, depending on like what the situation looks like in terms of regional or invites and everything.
I'll be there next year.
And also hopefully we just get more IRL so that like it's not the only time you'll see us.
For sure.
Lots. It's just really cool. So shout out to all you guys for listening to us. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't even be doing this shit to begin with. You guys are the only reason that we do this. So it's nice to see that you guys are like, oh, you guys, DGU. And we're like, yeah, let's put on some tournaments. Let's get some playmats printed. Which, speaking of, I met a super cool fucking playmat artist. His art is insanely good. So
and make card sleeves as well.
And he makes card sleeves. So if you guys are excited for Series 2, which is in the mail, I will be getting them within the next, I want to say, week or two. I cannot wait to see. I have to come up with the concept in my mind, but once I do, I'm going to reach out to him because I already spoke with him at the con. And bro, I can't wait to see what he does. His stuff looks so good. So I'm super excited for that.
That's cool.
So Series 3, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Adrian will be on the mats this time. Now we're going to have spoiler. We'll give a little bit of the insight of what we're thinking. So I was thinking we do a Rivals playmat since it's now 4 members of DGU. And we can do Adrian versus Mike, i.e. Aero Vidramon taking on Aero Vidramon Zero or Magnamon, I guess, because that would be more up your lane, Adrian.
I don't care.
And then for Dan and I, like, it'd be Dan versus me with like Savior Huck versus Metal Greymon or something of the sort. Don't know yet. We're not entirely sure where we're going. That'd be cool, man.
That'd be so dope.
But like Rivals playmats for DGU.
At first, cool
concept.
The joke was gonna be Adrian with a gold Vidramon and then Mike with a blue Vidramon.
Yeah, that's dope.
But we already did the champion, so I'm like, damn, like, now we got to do the ultimate.
Oh wait, Mike, isn't your thing like? Aren't you're the Imperial guy, right? So shouldn't it be All Force versus Fighter mode?
Yeah.
All Force versus.
He went with the Vidramon instead.
Yeah, he decided he liked All Force more.
No.
So you could be Imperial.
I like Imperial more, but Vidramon's way cooler
than XV.
Then XVmon.
Than XVmon.
That I agree with. I have to agree with that. But Fighter mode versus All Forces would be dope. Like them.
I mean, it's Digimon, so we can branch into those lines. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't have to go Jesmon. I can do Genkumon because we don't have any good Genkumon mats.
You're ruining the flow of it. You're going through up the whole Jess line just to go into a Genku. Disappointment.
Or you could do if you want to do Ultimates, you could do Pyldramon and Aero V.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it, but just a little bit of the ideas. If you guys want to check out the guy, I don't remember what his name is. I think it's that Jace kid. Really, really good art. I don't remember, limited customs or something is his website. It's just, if you look him up on Instagram, you should be able to find him. You can get hyped because I know I'm so hyped. I don't think I've fallen in love with an artist's work as much as I did, just because like I saw this one in person. I saw the art because he's made not just one, like 4 different he does ones for their locals as well as just like other obviously commissions. So I saw like 4 different of his playmats in person. I was like, you're insane, bro. Insanely good. So definitely looking forward to that. Since we're at the end of the pod, if you made it this far, first of all, you're a G. Thank you for listening to us for 2 hours and some. The last thing to say is TBL week 7 is happening this week. So you should be registered for that because we will be resuming that. Anyways, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. What's the parting words today, boys? Have faith in yourself. If you think you're a good player, you just got to get on that grind and you just got to prove it to yourself, And also, this one is a shout out to Mike and Mark. I definitely did want to leave on that Sunday night, but I am glad we stayed. It definitely made me feel better. So no matter how you feel in the moment, go to sleep on it, think about it, wake up in the morning. It's a new day. Let it come to you. That's all I can say. It's tough. Shit gets tough. And that's just real. That's just life. Shit gets tough, but every day is a new day. Wake up and tackle it head on and think about what you're going to do in the new day. Have friends to fall back and rely on because God knows you need them.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen, brother.
For sure.
Until we talk to you guys the next time, we love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. We are looking forward to the 2024 season. Until we talk to you guys the next time. Peace out.
I
hate you. I hate you.
Until the next one.